and creator of everything that you find at CarolJo's online, and it is a jewelry and accessory business for women. I create the jewelry. We have fun doing different things here on social media than just the selling of it. We do things such as chat times, which we had last night, and we had a great chat time last night. Hi, Rainbow. We'll see you in just a moment back. Okay, and we will do sales. We have a sale at 7 p.m. tonight where we will be selling all different kinds of beads. We have some pendants. I do have some acrylic beads, I believe, glass gemstones, the natural stones, that type of thing. So we have all kinds of things tonight. I do have a couple of kips also available. Hi, Lori. Hi, Lisa. Hi. There's Rainbow. She's back. So we'll have all kinds of things tonight. Hi, Gladys. Hey, Geraldine. But today is, this live is about a tutorial. It is being called the Chunky Dangle Necklace. Hi, Ashley. And so that is what we're going to do today. And as always, if you guys share 10 times here on TikTok and 10,000 likes up here, we'll do giveaways. I only have the bead soups, a couple of them. I need Buttercup to make more. So I'll probably do 2 different jewelries when we get to 10K. So go ahead, share out the live and love the live, AKA like it, and we'll give giveaways. So what the chunky dangle necklace is we showed last night. I'll show it here. It's this style of necklace. I showed this to my niece today. Guess what she thought this looked like? And it's a candy. Let's see if anybody can guess the candy she thought it looked like. But this is what we are going to be making today. I will tell you, it is a little bit longer to make this style of a necklace. And somebody was filtered. So whoever just tried to put something in there, reword it. See if we can get it. Skittles, that wasn't what she said, but I like that one. That sucker, not a sucker. I'll tell you guys here. I'm trying to bring up my backup account too while I'm talking. The nerd ropes, you know, the nerd candy ropes, that's what she thought it was. Ooh, the rock candy. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, so that's what she said it looked like to her. So, but this is, like I said, we are trying to inspire the jewelry we're making based upon the trends that we have right now, where we have the layered look using not dainty, but smaller chains and beads and that type of thing. Or we can have the bold look. And the bold look we have is you can do a simple necklace like this, but it be the centerpiece and attraction of the outfit. You can change it up, and like if I change out my shirt, then hi, X3 Bros Gaming. This could be the attraction or the boldness of a simple necklace on there. This one is what they're calling like the chunkier, bold jewelry. That's what this look is. So you have some different looks this year for the spring and summer of 2025 for the looks. Colors. That's where the colors of that necklace that I have, that is where we're bringing in a lot of the different colors that are popular here in this time frame. You know, but this is what they're considering the rainbow colors for this year. So I tried to match them all up as best as possible. This one here, this one is, I'll show you here. I'll bring it up close. This is just a rondelle bead. It is a 6 by 5 millimeter rondelle. It's clear with that half plating on it. So that is what this one is. I do use a lot of rondelles in what I make for jewelry. And you're going to see that with the example of this necklace that we're making today. I'm going to use a, I have some of the beads on. Thank you. Very simple to make. All it is a strand of those beads with a 3 millimeter size spacer bead in between. That is it. So one of the beads that we're going to use today for our example is this one here. It is a black 6 millimeter round. So we have a 6 millimeter round. We are going to use a black bicone. that's a 6mm bicone. We are also going to be using a rondelle here. This is a clear rondelle with the AB coating on it. That is an 8x6mm size bead. And then we have this one I've seen it called many things. This one is what I call, it's a oblong bicone, where you have the longer bicone look to it, or it will be called a faceted oval. And this one is 6x4mm. So I'm not using overly large beads, but we're going to be using larger beads. Even on this one, the smallest bead that I used on this one is 6mm, and I went all the way up to 10mm. So we're using what I call the medium-sized beads to be able to create that chunky look. You don't have to use all big beads. And you can even, if you wanted, you could take some 12 and 14s and very sparingly put them throughout it to give it even a more bulkier look. You can make it with just 8s and 10s, and it would be really bulky. This one, it is, because we're not going all the way around, we are keeping the weight of it down. Thank you, is it Milky? This one is a 6x5mm rondelle. Same style of beads. We're using same style of beads. You can do different looks with the same bead. Hi, Candy. And so don't always have to use glass beads with this, because you will use, for this, I've used 240 beads to make this. Yes, I do sell. This one won't be up for sale, but I have other ones like it that will be. If I've worn it, I don't put it up for sale because it's part of mine then. That's just how I am. Well, hi, Ava. So that is what we do. You can use different size. So what you need is beads. Like I said, this is 12 inches of beads here. And in that 12 inches, I found probably around 240, 250, whatever number you want to be in that area to get that chunky look. So when you think about it, most strands are more times than not around 60 to 70 beads. So if you're going to use a whole strand, 4 colors, 4 strands will probably get you there. Thank you, Amy, for the heart me. You do not need to use glass beads. You can use acrylic beads. We have seen some of those acrylic beads. They have changed their look from when we saw them a while ago. And to me, some of the acrylics will look more like a glass bead. So if you can find some that make up the colors that you want for your item, go ahead and use acrylic. It will be lightweight then. You could do gemstones. The thing is with you, when you go into that 8 and 10 millimeter gemstones, sometimes they do get really heavy. And that's where I would say, I don't know that I want all gemstones for this style of necklace, because it will be heavy. And if we're using it for summer, the thing to think about is that you don't want a heavy necklace for the summer, because that makes you hot. You're going to have all that weight weighing you down, and it just makes you feel hot. So I would caution using that size of beads in a gemstone. You could probably do 4 and 6 and put in a few 8, but you're just not going to get as a chunky look. But if you're going to do gemstones, I would lean towards those sizes of beads to keep the weight down. You can mix the gemstones and the glass together if you want. You can use any style of bead that you want to make it. I want to teach you how to do it so that you can make it your own. One thing that we talked about last night when we were talking about this, the reason why I have chain, like when you get to the part where it's like right about here and back, is because then that decreases the weight of your necklace, but also it decreases how much bulk is back here. Yep, I'm going to teach you all the steps here to do this. So this is literally the chain I will put on there to keep the weight down and to not have the bulkiness back there. And if you have longer hair, you have all of these on head pins, and you have a chance of getting your hair stuck in your necklace. And I can tell you, I am the type of person that if my hair is going to be stuck in my necklace, I'm not wearing the necklace. So that's why I recommend, if it's going to be for someone who has longer hair, you don't have to go all the way around. But if you're someone that has shorter hair, I would recommend going all the way around because you're going to see it from the back unless you have a collar or something. Hi, Rose. So that's where, you know, depending on the style of shirt and what you want to do with it. But most of the time when I see this, I'm thinking a non-collared shirt for this so that this is your centerpiece of your outfit. Does that make sense to everybody? And like I said, that example took me 3 hours to put together. So with it being 3 hours, what I did for this one, I have 12 different colors of beads in here, and I have 20 of each bead. So that's where I had 240. I did put in this one some 4mm size. It won't. I will explain why. It's not going to take as long. But there are some 4mm spacer beads in here. You can't see them. And so the reason why I even put the 4mm in there is to make sure that there wasn't any holes. But after I got done, I'm like, I don't even know if I needed the 4mm in there. So I am not going to put the 4mm spacers in today's. I put a little bit of an example together for me to see how much it is and what it looked like so that I knew what I was doing. And let me tell you, it didn't need the 4mm beads. So we'll be okay not doing the 4mm. So in all honesty, there's over 300 beads on this necklace when you put the spacers in there. I'm not going to do spacers on this one. So what I'm going to say is 250-ish beads is what you're going to need for it in any color combination that you want to put together. You will need the same amount of the flat head pin. And I just used a short head pin. And I'm going to tell you, I buy them in bulk when I buy them. And they come like this. In my bag, you will find, I'm thinking, I was like, did I drop a head pin there? You will find that I will get head pins that are straight on there. And then sometimes I will get them where they're a little bent. He's a lot bent. I literally, with this project, all I would do when I had a bent one like that is just use my finger and straighten it out. And I went on my merry way. So you will need the exact same amount of head pins as you do to beads. So that's what you're going to need for that. You will need about 6 inches of chain, and any chain that you like. This is my favorite chain. I don't have any in stock right now. I have it coming because the supplier that I get it from ran out, and we had it last week on our sale and we sold it all. And so I'm going to get more of it. It's coming. I have 3 times as much coming than I did in that last one. So we'll have like 150 packages coming. You will need a 6mm split ring and also a lobster clasp. My lobster clasp here is 12 by 6mm. And there are my 2 split rings. And I really, really heavily suggest using a split ring with this one because this one isn't a lightweight necklace with all the glass. If you're going to use all glass, do the split rings. The jump rings will open up when with the weight of this. And I don't want you to lose your necklace. You will also need for your supplies beading wire. I use 19 or 21 strand beading wire and 2 2mm crimp tubes that are sterling silver. That is the supplies that you need to make it. Your tools that you're going to need. This is why it doesn't take as long. If you have the one-step looper, this is a lifesaver for this project. I did them all with this. Oh, Jiminy Christmases. That stinks, little Miss Rose. We're getting close. We only need, oh, there we got our 10. We're good. So I am using the 1.5mm one-step looper. I also will tell you, we are going to want to have our round nose pliers. I'll explain while we're working on it why. When we go to put the crimp tubes on and also to do the to put our closure on, the tools you're going to need: split ring opener, flush cutter, woohoo, the crimp pliers if you're going to use the crimp tubes. If you use the lollipop crimps, you won't need this. And a flat nose or cable or chain nose pliers, depending on that's an optional one. All right. So those are the tools. And also, I forgot the one tool that I love. We're going to need our bead stopper too. So those are the tools that you're going to need. I am going to point you down and show you what I've worked on already and what we're going to work on today. Okay? So I'm going to point both of you down. YouTube, when I point you down, I don't have a backup account, so I will not be able to see your comments until we come back up. I every once in a while can see them, but I'm going to let you know now, I may not see them. I'm not ignoring you. I just can't see them when I'm going down. All right? So there is YouTube. TikTok, I should be able to see them. Thank you, Amaya, for the follow, because I've got them on a backup account. All right. All right, you can see my bead mat. Oh, the other thing, I use a ruler to measure. So however you measure, you'll need that too. So what I've done already is 3 of the 4 beads. I have 60 beads already on their the flat head pin. And so I've got those in just bags here. So this is my clear. This is the other clear that has the AB on it. Here is the black bicones. Those 3 have already been completed. I did those ahead of time so that we could keep this live under an hour. I did up half of the black rounds on the head pin. So I have 30 of them done, and I need to do the other 30. So I'm going to do those with you guys so that you can see the steps that I do with those head pins. So like I said, he's bent. You can just push him up. I literally do them in groups of 10 so that I don't feel so overwhelmed and I can have a sense of accomplishment. If you are like me, if I did all 60 of them at once and I didn't see my pile going down, I feel like I'm not accomplished anything. I have to break down my work to feel accomplished in doing something when you're doing a project like this. So I literally will do 10 of them on my head pins, and I will put them all on the head pins, all 10. I will do everything in a step of 10. And that way I'm not picking up tools one right after another and then doing it all over again. If you do it in, in a group, the repetitiveness, as they've shown, will decrease your time because you're doing the same thing and don't have to think about it. So that's why we're doing what we're doing here. Okay. Now I'm going to move some of these out of the way so we don't have so much in our camera here. Put those over there. So right here, I have 10 head pins with my beads on them. I will take my 1-step looper. You put the bead in, and it's done like this way, where you see the bead is sitting here. It didn't go into the looper. It's right above it. And then on this side, I'd let it out. There is a little hole that you put the head pin through. And then you just bring it together. And then when it's in this position right here, I will take my finger and just move it this way a little bit, and it will create a circle here. So by moving that back, do you see how this has a circle that kind of goes, it doesn't go straight up, it goes in a circle. By doing that, that gives you a circle shape. But if you look very, very close, you will see there is a little bit of an opening between the 2 wires. And we can't have that, because what will happen is our beads will fall off of their wire. So that's why I will take this and I will push it all the way to close that up. But I don't usually do that each and every time. What I will do, he is done. That one goes in here. He's in this bag. So what I will do is I will do my 1-step looper step, all 10 of those. And I keep the one tool in my hand and not putting a tool up and down. I'm going to do this today with you guys for 30 times because I have 30 of them I need to finish here before we begin our necklace. So we'll show you how much 30 of them is. And remember, that's like 1/8 of our necklace. And you can have as many colors in this as you want in any color scheme. We talked about last night, if you want to know all the colors for the seasons, you can go out to Google and just Google the colors for the season that we're in. Right now we're in spring, summer 2025, and you can get the list. Chocolates, mochas, and that type of thing is one of the colors. Red and blue is another. And then the rainbow colors that I showed you are some more. All right, now I already did him when I showed it to you. Now I'm going to go through, and normally I would have 10 of them that I would have here. Only because we did one ahead of time, I have 9. I am going to take all 9 and close up the holes. And you just want to push it forward so that your hole is closed up, so that your bead does not come off the wire. Because you have to remember, the wire is very small for beading wire. If you leave this open even just a little bit, they will fall off. Those 10 are done. Now we're going to do the next set of 10. It's the same steps. This is something that if you are having a rough day and you feel like you need to accomplish something in making jewelry, but you just also want to just veg in front of the TV, this is something that you can do, this part. And I will tell you, I want this for a second because he's a little bit bent and I can't get a hold of him. I will just use my pliers. I do not get out my nylon pliers to straighten these for this project because I don't need the whole head pin straight. Yep, you could use bead soup to make this, to make a necklace out of this. You can, if you have just odds and ends of beads and just make a total random necklace, you can do that. But you can sit on the couch and watch a movie and do this necklace on those days, because I have to say, we all have a day where we just want something that doesn't take any thought. And I would just make this up. Literally, Ryan and I watched his TV the other night when I made the rainbow one. And I worked for 2 hours on it, watching TV with him, talking with him, and got it done. So I will tell you this, doing these, and I will do the 4mm size beads. I keep them in a package. I used up the last of my package on the rainbow one. I have on my shelf sitting over here, and I'll grab it here in a minute, a package of black beads. I had silver, and I have white, I believe. I don't know if I have anything else. Just sitting there where I just took a couple of strands of beads for when I would want to have a filler on when I was working on the dangle, anything dangly. I've had those packets for a couple of years. I just keep them in a sealed baggie so that they don't tarnish. But sitting in front of the TV one night with my husband, I just did those up. I used to sell, when I would do in-person shows, charm bracelets and necklaces, and you could add color dangles to them. The color dangles are this. I could sit here and take my, extra beads, and I would literally just do this with it and then put them in trays, and people would select their colors to put between the charms to add something to their bracelet. There. That is it. That took us about not even 5 minutes to do up 10 of those. So that's literally what, yes, it is time consuming, but you can do something else while you're doing it. I'm going to show you those packages. Yeah. And one's a rainbow bead. I'm getting low on them. So I have them in, my clear is really low. I just have a 4mm faceted clear. I have a 4mm round in black, a 4mm bicone, 4mm round black with AB coating, and just opaque white. But literally, I would just fill this bag up. You can tell I've used them. And when I just need them, I can grab them. You sure could make earrings similar to this. I just put those on the, like the cha-cha bracelet. I put those on chain. But to do this many beads would be overwhelming to me for a cha-cha bracelet. And I would not do the one-step looper for a cha-cha bracelet either, because your bracelets, you are using your arms and hands more, and I wouldn't want them to fall off. I like the technique that I show when I do the earrings where you wrap around the head pin. And I have a video. It's the dangled earrings video. I know you guys have seen me do it. I just do that with the cha-cha just to be safe, to make sure my dangles stay on. All right, so there is my 10. My last 10 is what we're working on right now. Whoop, I don't want to lose that. Okay, I always either throw them away right away, or I make a pile of my ends pieces. I know some people reuse them. I am not a wire wrapper, and I cannot for the life of me figure out how to use the ends. So I do throw them away. But I make sure I find them all to throw away. And the reason being is that one time one of my kids got a piece of the wire in their foot. It was actually between their toes. And it was horrible. I felt bad as a mom. So I always try to keep track of where did my ends fly to. There we go. So now that I've got all of my head pins done, I will throw away these, and then I'm going to straighten them. Get that garbage out of the way. And I use, and I know they're no longer in business, I use a little 31 basket for my garbage on the table. Food is not allowed to go into it. Ooh, owie. That would hurt, Amy. Yeah, you could do eye pins with them too, but I cannot. I suck at eye pins, making my own eye pins. All right. There is, so right here we have the pile of 30. So I'm going to take my one-step looper, and I'm going to take my round nose plier. I'm going to get them out of my way, because the next steps, I don't need them, and they're just in the way. Okay, just set them on my desk. Thank you. How many do we have? One has 1 and one has 4? Yes. Okay. We're talking about the extra kits from Monday night, which was the tutorial we did on Wednesday night. We only have 5 total kits available, but I'll bring them tonight. And I have to create the kits for this still too. I am setting out each bead individually. Now, I did it differently when I created the other one. Those I had my pile of 12 beads. Each pile of 12 was stacked on here. And that way I could go and grab the stack and put it on there, so that I knew I wasn't going to get 2 of the same bead so close together and then not use the other ones and they'd be spread apart. It was just my checks and balances of making random. Now, what I'm going to do with the bead wire is I am going to cut off an 18-inch piece of bead wire. We're going to make an 18 to 20-inch necklace, but I only need 18 inches at most of the bead wire. The reason being is that I am going to put this, there we go, the chain in here. And because of that, that means I don't need to have so much wire. And then we're going to put our crimp or our bead stopper on one end. And literally how we're going to string this one on is we're just going to go through each one of these beads. Whoops, we got to put him on there. And just go down the line, put those 4 on. If I can get, there we go. Do it all over again. And we're going to do this 60 times because we have 60 of each bead. Now, if you do not have to do just 4. You can do however many colors you want together. And this is going to take us a little bit of time. Doing the finishing of this takes about a half an hour. So we're about right where I want to be for teaching the tutorial for us to get off at 2 o'clock Central. That'd be an hour-long tutorial. And this is going to be the boring part. So if you guys want to talk amongst yourselves and I can try to read comments while I'm doing it, we can do that. If you have questions about this process, put them in the chat. We can chat while we're doing this too, because this is like repetitive stuff. And when I said this is not a hard necklace to put together, you can see why I said that last night over and over and over again. But I do count the beads. You don't have to, but I do so that I can make sure my pattern is the same. Yeah. Who would have thought that this could be so simple? And I will every so often pick up the necklace and shake it. And I'm going to do that after I finish this one. And I just pick it up and I do this. The reason why I'm shaking it like this is so that I can make sure my beads are going to stay on. If one falls off, it isn't the end of the world that it's not in the place where it should be. We just need to string it on and put it on the necklace at some other point. But, yeah. Yep, just like the cha-chas, we do it to the link. But the way this is done, we're not putting on the link of the chain. And so when you think about it from that aspect, it is less time consuming. If we were to put this all on the like the cha-cha bracelet, we would be here forever doing this necklace. But when you put it together and at the, you know, when you look at it, it has the very similar look to the cha-cha. Now, why don't I make the cha-cha bracelet the same way? I don't know if you guys have that question, but if you do, here's the answer. Woohoo! I needed to hear that because I've been like sweating about tomorrow. What I was going to say is that, I don't like the cha-cha bracelet moves when you put your hand down on like your desk if you're typing, that type of thing. This one isn't as forgiving of that. What kind of wire? I am using bead wire that is, and I can't remember, I'm thinking it's 19 strand, but I also use 21. I bought this so long ago and there isn't any thing on the packaging to tell me what it is. So I think it's 19 strand bead wire. Okay, we're going to get to a point where I'm going to shake again. See, one popped off. And I don't even know where he's at. So now, whoops, I need my red pliers back, my red. There we go. We got him fixed. And so just to put them on, I'm going to be a little bit out of order, but I'm just going to do 2 clear color there just to have him be on the bracelet. We're going to use it in the thing. Nope, I am not rotating directions. Oh, hey, I had one fly over there when I shook. I'm not changing directions. I literally am just putting the beads on the strand, and they are setting themselves up to where they're going to be at, and you push it close together. So when we go to close it, we're going to be pushing it together to give it that look. So nope, it's not something that we answered. It's a cool, you can ask every question you want and don't be sorry. We come and go. And so literally, you know what? We're going to come and go in and out of lives. You might have missed a step, and that's okay. Yep. The bracelet, if we did it this way, it would be similar. But the thing to remember is, and I'm going to go grab a cha-cha bracelet really quick so I can explain why I do them differently. I didn't make my cha-cha. With the cha-chas, I do layers to the beads to give it that fuller effect. Well, here, I'm just going to, oh, dang, I have hair everywhere. If you ever get a hair in my package from me, I'm sorry. But here, I would put each one of these on a head pin instead of doing like 3 on there or 4. And then, so you've got the movement here. So when I go to put down, like if I am working on something on my desk, you can put it down and your beads are going to move and it isn't so hard. Now with this, because we were putting it together that way, we don't want to see that wire in between. When you, if you would put this down, you're not going to be forgiven, and it's going to hit you in your wrist. It's going to be uncomfortable. So that's why I end up doing these in a different style, but you're going to get the same look. Yep, there's no free movement with this one. Okay, thank you. So that's why I said this looks like the cha-cha, but it doesn't take as much time. Like for the cha-cha bracelets, and what I mean by that, a cha-cha bracelet can take me about an hour to 2 hours to make, depending on how full I'm going to make it. This necklace is like the similar, but you're thinking, okay, if a 7-inch and I'm making, 7-inch bracelet and I'm making a 12 to 13, it's going to take me almost much time. You're like, it's going to take 4 or more hours, but it doesn't, because you are using the one-step looper and you're stringing them on and not stringing them onto the chain. The beads are different sizes, Patty. I do suggest using a combination of, when you're doing this, 6, 8, and 10 millimeter size beads. They don't have to be all of those sizes, but here for this one that I'm making right now, we have a 6 by 4 millimeter oblong bicone, or faceted oval, whichever way you want to say that one. I have a 6 millimeter bicone. I have a 8 by 6 millimeter size rondelle, and I have a 6 millimeter size faceted round. So none of them are the same size or the same shape, really. We have 4 different shapes to give different texture to the necklace. The example that I was showing last night, that one is using mostly 6s and 8s with a few splattering of 10s. And those are all round or faceted round. All right, those are staying on. So there we are. I have no idea how our count is, if we're halfway done yet or not. Just gonna keep on going here. So, I literally did some research on why you guys can laugh. I always say you guys can laugh at me, and I'm okay with that. Why, when I'm sitting here on a live, that I can't see as well as when I'm off of the live doing jewelry. So as you know, when we do lives, we need ring lights. So when I'm doing tutorials, I actually have 2 ring lights on so that each camera has its own lighting. And so I have 2 ring lights like right in my eyes. I have astigmatism, and when we've been doing a lot of my testing for my eyes, they have me use this holy device to help concentrate on seeing when I do my eye tests. Well, what I found out is that takes away a lot of light and makes your eyes focus. And so I just read up on if I have less light, I can focus better.
Am I supposed to put these in 2 different bags?
Yeah, because there's 2 in here, so each one gets 1.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know who. Do you know who paid for them?
Huh?
Do you know who paid for them?
Rosie and Geraldine will get them.
Oh, you mean okay? I thought it was one of those things that they were being nice and paying for.
No, are you on the basket? Yeah, the basket is that's theirs.
Do I need another label?
Yeah, but I probably didn't give you one because I didn't grab it.
Okay.
I can tell you that one doesn't seem familiar for me doing labels this morning.
Okay. That's why I was like, who paid for it though? That's yeah.
Yep. Amaya, we are using I believe it's a 19 strand bead wire. My bead wire is 0.8 millimeter in diameter. Is it better to wrap with the head pins or the looper? If I'm going to do it on the necklace, because of the timing it would take to make these all into loops, I did the looper to do this. If we're going to make it into a bracelet, I would say do them on the head pin without doing the wire wrap on there. And then
What should I have typed in?
Oh, Ashley, cool. What's the number? Is it 10.5?
10 by 10.
No, that's the size. I meant the number
It
here.
doesn't have.
Go into where you're at the product there and put in item 31 - light steel blue pearl luster and see what comes up, okay?
31.
Here, just copy that.
Okay.
I can't see it now because I put it behind my example. Sorry, I'm talking with my niece. She's helping me today.
Oh, she did that.
Yep, don't add as much light. All right, may I ask how much would you sell that necklace for? I have never sold this one, so I've never priced it to sell. Last night we were talking about this. Everybody has a different rate of how much they sell things at. And so I said, this takes me about 3 hours to make. So you have 3 hours of your time. The cost of the beads and everything is going to be somewhere between, all of your supplies. If from what I sell them for would be somewhere between, I would say $10 to $20, depending on what kind of beads you used and such. So I don't know how you charge for your time, because that's got to be included in it. This one is a timely one. We talked about that this one would be more of a statement piece. It's going to be one of probably your more expensive products, possibly. I don't know what you sell, but that for me, this would be. There is, 240 beads. That is about the equivalent of 4 strands of beads. So depending on what kind of beads you're using on it, can make it that price. What colors am I using right now? I am using clear AB, rainbow AB. I have black with an AB on it that is about half plated AB. I have like a clear or a smoky color with half AB. And then I have a black that is, it's got a coating of some sort, but I don't remember what it is. Yep. So, and when I try to sell my strands, I'm trying to buy strands. I don't always get it that way, and times are changing. So you're getting less on a strand for the same price because that's how they're keeping their costs, you know, going rather than increasing it. They decrease the amount you get on a strand. But on the, some of these, the bicone did not have 60 beads on a strand, so I had to go into a second strand. The, this one, I had 60, this is the clear oval or oblong bicone. That one had 64 beads on it. The,
to print a new label for this one as well, or just keep this one and cross off the two?
there isn't another one in there, is there?
Remember I had to print a new label for this one. Do you want me to put a new one because this isn't two anymore?
But we sold both of them and there's only 2 in there. Each got 1.
That's what I'm getting at.
No, put it in a new baggie.
A new one?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't catching that. Sorry. I was like, huh? So, so you, depending on when you're buying a strand, it just depends. This one I had 63. This one I had to use a strand and a half. There was like 40 on it. This one I had leftovers on 1 strand, but I don't remember how many I had left over. I don't see it sitting here. Yeah, here it is. This one's how much I had, half a strand left or 3/4 of a strand of the other one. So each strand has different numbers. That's what I'm just trying to say. Oh, I was going to say that you can make this. And this is one of the, I think one of the simpler, for when it, what it looks at when it is done, I will say this is an easier necklace to put together for that big, huge wow factor. How's that for an answer? I am using flat head pins on this one, Patty. Sorry I didn't see that comment until just now. It's probably been there a while and I didn't see it. Now, is it going to be one of your cheaper necklaces? Oh, heck no. 3 hours of work. And that's the thing that we always say, oh, I can't charge that amount for it. You know what? Make 1 or 2 up. Put them out there. Make them a statement in your display. And see if you could just sell 1 of them. If you could sell 1 of those for, you know, a weekend craft show, would that not just make your day? Yep, you can make earrings with it. I would probably use a piece of wire to do the earrings. Or not wire, chain. But yeah, you could do that. We're getting closer because my piles are getting smaller. And I'm going to move these over so I don't have to reach so far. One thing I found, and I'm going to try to be better at telling it. Yeah, that would make, I mean, seriously, it would make your day. Well, we did get to 10K. So I'm going to have you guys do your thing while I'm finishing this up of just stringing these on. So hold on, everybody. Let me get to an end of one. Let me see. We have 1 person over here on YouTube. You can play also. We're going to guess a color. I got to think of a good color. Okay, I thought of one. All right. Go ahead and start guessing colors. I will pick out the jewelry after you guys have a winner because I want to keep stringing these on and get this part done. I got to shake again here. Did I have another one that I missed?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I literally was like paging through or flipping through it. I didn't take them all. That spin's really, really cool. We have 3 more sets to do here. Oh, somebody guessed it. But I'm going to go to the end, everybody, if that's okay, just so that I can finish this up. And I didn't do one of my beads that I should have done earlier. So we're going to do one of these here to get us back into the right amount. There we go. Okay, I still have 2 left. This bead just keeps multiplying. There we go. Whoops. I didn't get him on the string. That's the eyesight thing. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to flip you guys up here for the game here so that I can see who it is. All right. The color was plum. You guys would have found out in a couple of seconds here anyways. But Miss Lori, you guessed plum. So you are going to win. I'm going to point you guys back down after I do this. All right, let me see what we got here. Do that bracelet, and we'll do this necklace. We have some of the colors for the spring colors. We have for the necklace option, unless you want me to grab bead soup, you let me know, Lori. I have the pink and blue glass pearl necklace on a long strand. And the bracelet we have is the blue glass bracelet. You let me know. So congratulations, Lori. Let me know which one you would like.
When you type in the numbers, you have to do the item number with it too, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, so I did that correctly.
I can't see.
So the number, it says 24255-025.
Oh, just do this number down here only. Just the
24.
Yep. Yep. Necklace, you got it. You got that. All right. Now, I'm going to point you all back down again so that we can finish this up. This part won't take as long, and we will probably be finished right around our hour mark. All right, I'm hoping y'all can see again. So we have, and what I'm going to do here, I'm going to move my bracelets out of the way. I'm going to measure this. And I just pushed my 2 ends together and put it on the ruler. I only have 9 inches. That does not go with what I wanted. Hey, he's not going to be as long as I want him to be. So at this point, I could add more beads, but I want to show you how to finish it. So I'm not going to do that. I will probably undo it and put it to 12. I just need 3 more inches to get it to look like our example here. So I would say go to 12, not 9, but I'm going to show you here for the example of how to do the math, okay? So we have 9 inches. Our clasp will take about an inch. And that means then we're 9 plus 1 equals 10. If I wanted an 18-inch necklace, I need 8 inches of chain. But I have half of it on one side and half on the other. So I need 2 4-inch pieces of chain to do this. So we got to remember our 4 inches each. That might be okay. We'll see how it looks when it's done. And we will need, I got to get them out of my bag here, 2 6mm split rings. I have 2 of them in my fingers. And I also need 1 of my clasps. These are the most common ones that I use, and I just keep them together in a plastic bag. I do not put them in my little containers behind me. You guys can laugh at me, but I just grab the plastic bag and go when I'm making stuff in bulk. All right. We're going to use our split ring pliers to open up that split ring so that we can put our lobster clasp on a split ring. Okay. And then we have the other one for the other half. Then we're going to grab, I have it in bulk. I sell this in 1 meters, just to let y'all know, but I keep mine on my roll. I'm going to do 2 4-inch pieces of chain. I use my chain nose plier, and I will every once in a while, will just grab my round nose, or you can use 2. Open it like you would a jump ring. Hold on. There we go. Got it open. I will take half of my closure and put it on and put it back together. You got to make sure it's all together.
What does this say?
Done.
Is it done? Okay.
Yep.
I thought it was, but it kind of looked like a Dayon.
Oh.
It looked like Daion. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
It was hard to write that one. And then we're going to open this one on the other side, 4 inches, and put our other end of our clasp in. So I literally have I will put those 2 steps together to put that clasp on because he's already open. Now, I'm going to get the chain and those tools out of the way. And now I'm going to grab my 2mm crimp tubes. Oh my Lord, I can't talk. Put those down. On one end of the wire, I will put my 2mm crimp tube on my wire, sits right there. Half of my closure, and you're going to put the chain side, not the closure side, the chain side there, and dangle it down, go over the top of it, and back through that crimp tube the opposite way that you went through the first time. So it looks like this. I have a video on how to do this, so I'm not going to go through this. I don't use wire guards. You can use wire guards. I just don't use them. I have never used wire guards. I have wire guards coming here in a show pretty soon, but they are not silver. They are antique bronze. Now, if you notice here, we have this here. Normally I say, and that's why I was grabbing these, and then I'm like, hold it, I got to explain this. Normally I would say go back through the beads, but because these are the head pin circles, you're not going to be able to go through the beads. So right at where you went through that crimp tube, you can cut off the excess wire. And I need a new pair of clippers. And that is one end. Bring this down. And then with your crimpers, ooh, he's like all janky. I'm going to cut off part of this because he's all janky from having the stopper on it. I am going to put my crimp tube, my other chain piece in there. Ah, thank you. What is a wire guard? A wire guard is a U shape that you can put on your wire where you would put it on here. And then you put the wire, it fits on the wire and you go back through it on the other end. And it keeps your wire from rubbing on here. So the chain would rub on the wire guard rather than the wire, to make it so that you don't accidentally have your chain break because of it going in this loop. Does that make sense? Yep, that's what those are. We're going to pull this there. We're going to want to do like normal and push that down to make this tight so that it stays in that shape and doesn't have it running around. We got there. Now we got to get, and this is not fun on this one sometimes because you have all these beads that are going to be in your way. And then we're going to get that in that second one and then do it again. There we go. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to test him. He is good. You always want to test it, because if you don't test it, then woohoo! Good deal. I'm excited. That is for sure then. I'm going to take this example off and I'm going to bring us up. Okay, everybody? We are right at 2 o'clock, so I'm like almost on time with what I was showing you here. This one takes a while. So I was like, I was having anxiety today if I was going to get us in an hour. We're just going to go a few minutes over. So I'm not so, hey, that's not so bad. There. It's not as high as I would want it. I would want it to be probably another ½ an inch. But that's it. Look at that. Those beads. Look at how much sparkle is in those beads there. I'm showing them over here on YouTube. And there's on TikTok. Now, I'm going to show you. I'm going to take off my necklace so you guys can see and we don't get them tied together. Because it might be okay. Let's see. I'm going to show you how this is a statement piece. Hey, I don't even need to adjust it. Oh, my Lord. Now, look at, with this shirt, see how this is a statement piece? And if I didn't have a collar on it, if I just had this color of a shirt or something, look at that. That's what this is about, is showing you how this can be a bold statement piece. Yes, it did take time to make, but it is phenomenal for what it is. When you look at how simple it is to put together, it's just repetitiveness of all the colors. So I want you to see how something very simple. I do not have the price of the beads in front of me, but you could do this for between $10 and $20 for the beads and the supplies, depending on what kind. With these being the glass beads and they're all faceted, this one, and they are 6 to 8 millimeters in size, I would say this is close to like $10 to $12 in beads, but then you have the chain, you have the crimp tubes, you have the wire, you have this. So that's why I said the kits are going to probably be more towards $20 that I will make. I don't know how many I'm going to get done because I still have to get all the other items ready for tonight. So I might not have a whole lot of kits for tonight for this necklace, but it's going to be more, the kits are going to be more geared at like 4 to 6 colors in the kit with the head pins, the chain, and the closure, crimp tubes, wire, and all of that. But we'll do 4 to 6 colors instead of trying to find like this one here where we have 12 colors. So we'll do less colors than this, but we'll do something similar to that in different colors. It's probably not all going to be black and white type color. But yeah, and if this was on white, holy buckets, or even here, because you guys saw it up against the blue, but if you did it up against the blue, look at that. I am just amazed. I love it. Thank you. So we will be on tonight at it's 7 p.m. tonight. 7 p.m. I will have a few of the kits for this. The kits are going to probably be towards the end because I've already started doing some of the stuff before we even had our discussion last night about getting kits for this. So just to let you know, the kits for Monday night and the kits for this will be at the end of the first round. But we will have pendants, we will have acrylic beads, we have gemstones, we have glass. We have, I know I have larger lobster clasps, so if you're not a fan of the 12 by 6, I have some bigger silver ones. I have something in gold, but I can't remember what the gold is. So we have all kinds of things tonight. So come back for our bead sale. It starts at 7 p.m. Central, and I'm probably going to keep it to a minimum. I'm not going to probably do, I have a lot of beads. And I have 2 sizes of clear rondelles. Just FYI, I have that. That would make a stunning necklace. We'll have that. And then we have just lots of other colors and stuff to do Wednesday night's tutorial and today's tutorial. So if you want to pick your own beads for it, there's going to be some available tonight. But we'll also have kits, if that helps you all out. Okay, well, I'm going to get going so I can finish getting ready for tonight, because even after that, I still have to get tomorrow's done. And tomorrow, 10 a.m., will be cabochon sale day. We'll have cabochon settings and the cabochons available for you guys to purchase. I do have a hard stop tomorrow. I will let you know. So I don't know if we'll get through round 2 or not. We'll have to see. I do have a hard stop at 1:30 tomorrow. We'll see how long it takes us to get through all the items. But we have lots of new cabochons coming. So I hope you had a great day, everybody. I hope to see you at 7 tonight, and have a good afternoon. Bye.